This medic was shot while saving a life, and all because he wanted to help people. What a hero. This is the story of the medic who was shot saving a child. Our story begins in a country far, far away, where there was a horrible earthquake.
Yes.
The earthquake literally leveled an entire city.
At hills, it sees.
It was such a horrible tragedy that other countries had to step in to help. This included a group of medical professionals. Our story's protagonist was part of this team. It was a medic who just wanted to help people in need. But he had no idea the kind of hellish things he would see when he got there. When this medic first arrived at the scene, it looked like a war zone. Homes were destroyed and people were crying out for help. It was absolute chaos. But our medic was trained for this. He knew exactly what to do. Quickly went to work treating people's injuries and trying to make them comfortable. As he worked, though, he heard what sounded like gunshots. At first, he didn't think much of it. Maybe it was just some fireworks or something. But then he heard more gunshots and realized that people were being killed right and left. And as if that wasn't bad enough, the sun started going down. That meant that soon it would be too dark to see, and these people would have to spend the night in this dangerous situation. Our medic was determined to help these people in any way he could, even if it meant putting himself in danger. As it got darker and darker, he continued working, trying to save as many lives as possible. Then suddenly he saw a little boy who had been shot in the leg. The boy was crying and scared, and the medic knew he had to do something fast. He quickly went over to the boy and tried to stop the bleeding. It was bad. The bullet had shattered the boy's femur, and he could die from blood loss at any second. The medic knew that he had to get the boy to a hospital right away, but the roads were bad, and there was no way he was going to be able to transport the kid in a normal ambulance. That's when the medic had a brilliant idea. There was a Black Hawk helicopter pad nearby, so he decided to try to airlift the boy out of there. The problem was, the boy was too big for a normal stretcher, so the medic had to improvise. He used a blanket to make a makeshift sling, and then, with the help of some other medical professionals, he carefully put the boy in the helicopter and flew him to the hospital. But as they were flying, the medic knew that this might be his last mission. He had been shot at before, but never while flying in a helicopter, and he knew that if they were hit, it would be catastrophic. Still, he wasn't about to let anything happen to the boy. He would protect him with his life if he had to. Suddenly, the unthinkable happened. Gunfire erupted, and the helicopter was rocked violently. The medic immediately went into action. He shielded the boy with his body and closed his eyes, bracing for impact. But strangely, the bullets didn't hit him. Confused, he opened his eyes and saw that the bullets had missed him by a hair. He was alive, but he knew that they couldn't stay in the helicopter. They had to land and get the boy to the hospital as soon as possible. The pilot put the helicopter into a sharp descent and landed it on the roof of the hospital. The medic quickly got the boy out of the helicopter and into the waiting arms of doctors who took him inside. The medic watched as the helicopter was brought down and the doors of the hospital were closed. He knew that he had done everything he could, and now it was up to the doctors. He walked away from the hospital, feeling exhausted but satisfied. He had saved the boy's life, and that was all that mattered. But the medic's job wasn't done yet. He still had to help the other people who had been injured in the earthquake. He went back to the scene of the accident and started treating people's wounds. He worked tirelessly, often forgetting to take care of himself. He didn't eat or drink, and he didn't sleep. All he did was help people. Days turned into weeks, and the medic had helped save hundreds of people. He was exhausted, but he was also happy. He had made a difference in these people's lives, and that was all that mattered. But the medic's heroism didn't go unnoticed. One day he was called to the governor's office. He was being awarded the Bronze Star for his bravery. The governor shook his hand and thanked him for his service. The medic was honored, but he was also humble. He knew that he had only done what he was trained to do. The medal was nice, but he would trade it in a heartbeat to have the chance to save the lives of those innocent people again. Despite his heroism, the medic wasn't a rich man. In fact, he was quite poor. He lived in a small apartment, and he drove an old car. But the medic didn't care. He was happy with his life. He knew that he had a purpose, and that was all that mattered. He didn't need money or fame. All he needed was his medical kit and his trusty dog tags. The medic was a true hero. He risked his life to save the lives of others. In doing so, he became a legend. His story was told around the world, and people looked to him as an example of courage and selflessness. The medic was honored to be a role model, but he knew that there were many other heroes out there. There were firefighters who ran into burning buildings to save people. There were police officers who put their lives on the line every day to protect us. And there were ordinary people who did extraordinary things. The medic was just one of many heroes, but he was happy to be a part of that group. He knew that he wasn't perfect, but he was trying his best to make the world a better place. That was all that really mattered. The medic was a humble man, but he was also very brave. He wasn't afraid to speak his mind or stand up for what he believed in. He was a strong advocate for gun control, and he was also very anti-war. He believed that war was never the answer, and he did everything he could to promote peace. The medic was a man of strong convictions, and he never backed down from a fight. He was willing to stand up for what he believed in, no matter what the cost. This was evident during the war when he risked his life to save the lives of innocent civilians. He didn't care about the danger he was putting himself in. He was too busy trying to save lives. The medic was a true humanitarian, and he was respected by people all over the world. He was a symbol of hope in a time of darkness, and he was a reminder that even in the darkest of times, good always triumphs over evil. The medic was a man of many talents. He was a skilled medical professional, a brave soldier, and a passionate activist. He was also a loving husband and father. He had a wife and 2 children who he loved more than anything in the world. He was a family man through and through, and he would do anything to protect his family. The medic was a man of faith. He was a devout Christian who believed in the power of prayer. He prayed every day for the strength to do good and the courage to stand up for what he believed in. His faith gave him the strength to endure the horrors of war and the courage to save lives in the face of death. The medic was a true inspiration to all who knew him. He was a man who lived his life to the fullest, and he never gave up in the face of adversity. He was a true American hero, and his legacy will live on forever. So what can we learn from the medic? How can we be more like him? First and foremost, we can learn from his bravery. He was not afraid to put his life on the line to save the lives of others. This is the true definition of bravery. Secondly, we can learn from his humility. He was a humble man who never forgot that he was just doing his job. He didn't need recognition or praise. He was content with knowing that he had made a difference in the world. Finally, we can learn from his compassion. He was a compassionate man who cared deeply for the suffering of others. He was moved by the plight of the people in the earthquake zone, and he felt compelled to help them. If we can emulate the bravery, humility, and compassion of the medic, then we will be one step closer to becoming the best versions of ourselves. Let's strive to be like the medic and make the world a better place. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe for more videos about amazing people.